Welcome to a new episode of Business Meets Life. It's 35 degrees in Shanghai and we're meeting amazing Esther.
Hello, everybody.
Now tell us a little bit more about your background and what made you pursue a career in journalism.
Hey, Jenny. Finally, we made it. I would love to tell this story. So I was a journalist in 2016, starting from 2016 to 2020 for 4 or 5 years. I think it really has something to do with my background, with my, to my childhood. So when I was a kid, I was born in airplanes in northern China, where you barely can see any mountains or waters or rivers.
That's why we chose that background.
Yeah, I love it. That's why I'm here. I work here. So my and literally I was the only girl in that area, and the only playmate when I was a kid was my elder brother. So we can only see the horizon. So no waters, mountains, but only horizons. So horizon is something really mysterious for us. And my elder brother always takes me to chase the boundary, the line. It seems like the horizon seems like the end of the world, but it also seems like within reach. Like we can always use. It seems like we can always use our hand to reach it. So he always take me to chase the line. And we were like two nuts, in many people's eyes, that we were chasing the lines every day. But no matter how hard we tried, there are always horizon beyond horizon, always planes beyond planes. And that basically was when I began to realize how big the world it is. And that curiosity is something really drove me, go further and further. And basically that's the curiosity that make me decide to go further to see the bigger world where there's waters and mountains, and that is the seed in my heart that drove me go further and being a journalist.
Wow, thank you. And which countries have you traveled to or worked in so far?
So when I was a journalist, I traveled to dozens of countries. Like in Africa, Middle East, in Asian countries, in Europe. Well, I lived in England for 2 years. Yeah.
Now, having worked and met people from all around the world, from so many different countries, what do you think? What makes people successful, and what makes people happy?
Well, I think I'm not a naturally happy person. And it really depends on how you define happiness, right? So after seeing the children, refugee children that really have big smiles on their face, in the refugee camps, and after seeing the beggars, they basking and singing on the beach in Cambodia. And I've seen the people who are really living in disease in Africa, who live, in the straw house, but still, like a woman, she still, didn't forget to put on makeup before taking pictures while she just live, in a straw house in a very, 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 very desperate places in the middle of Africa. And after, writing for biographies for someone, for the entrepreneur who are, worth tens of thousands, billions, while still, couldn't fall asleep because of anxiety. After talking and seeing so many people from different backgrounds, I finally, reached the point where I really think happiness has little to do with how much money you have, or what is your social status. And I always think, I would be happy when I got the, doctor degree, when I had a boyfriend, when I, had children. I would have thought, I assumed that I would be happy, but actually happiness is a mindset. You literally can get your happiness from now on.
That's true.
So yeah, this is really something I changed a lot. My mindset changed a lot after seeing and talking.
So let's
to
not
people
always
much.
like pursue goals and be future focused, but let's be in the here and now, and it's a mindset thing. So what about success? What do you think makes these people so successful?
Again, depends on the definition of success. Well, I'm not successful, so I don't think I'm in a position.
Other people would say Esther absolutely is successul, right? As you said, it depends on the definition.
Yeah, it's really up to definition. And my answer is according to my limited observations, I think success has something to do with the persistence and luck. But I don't want to acknowledge that luck is something really important. But talking with so many people from different backgrounds, people who are, especially, like now I'm working for the business community, and I feel like luck is something that is so important. But without persistence, luck is nothing.
Persistence and luck.
Be ready for the luck. But luck is also something important.
Love it. So, hi guys, we're in the library now. Esther, as a journalist, what has been the most challenging, toughest story that you ever had to cover?
Well, I think the trip to Syria might be the most challenging one.
Why was that? What made it challenging?
Because I always wanted to visit Syrian refugees, not only Syrian refugees, or I can say not only refugees, but broken people who are living in like disease, war, poverty. Those are the group of people that I really care about. So I've been thinking of like going to visit refugees for quite a long time. So even when I was studying like my master degree in Guangzhou, I encountered with a Syrian businessman in Guangzhou. Like he told me the story of like escaping from the war, and I was the tutor, like teach the Chinese, to his case. So from that time on, I was pretty curious, and also always want to see how what the life look like for the refugees. So I got the chance to go to Africa in the year 2018. So I went to Africa, and on my way there, like before I started the journey, I was thinking probably I can get the chance to on my way back from Africa, probably I can go directly to refugee camps. And Turkey is the country that accepted the most Syrian refugees because they are neighbors, right? So I went to Africa first, and on my way back from Africa, I went to Dubai. From Dubai, I went to Istanbul in Turkey. I remember the new airport. And then from Istanbul,
I've been there too.
From Istanbul, I went to Şanlıurfa. Şanlıurfa is the border state. It's between Turkey and Syria. And Şanlıurfa actually is the state that accepted the most Syrian refugees in Turkey.
And what have you seen? What have you experienced there?
The reason why I think it's challenging is because it's really hard for a foreign journalist to enter the camp. You must get permission. So I was thinking for a long time, like, how can I get the permission to enter the refugee camp? Because I interviewed the Turkish ambassador to China before, so I just to try my luck, I contact a friend in a worker in the embassy, and I asked if there's any way that the ambassador can help with that, and luckily,
he helped.
He actually comes. He was grew up in that state, Şanlıurfa state, and he contacted the ambassador. He contacted the governor of the state. So with the governor's permission, I finally on my way back from Africa.
This is the power of your network, the guanqi, as we say in China. This is something amazing, powerful that I learned in China. It's all about your network.
The connection, the network, Because, I mean, I pretty much, buy in the saying that nothing is really important if you really put your heart into it. I really buy in from a very early age. I thought, so that's probably the most challenging story I've ever done, when I was a journalist.
And what have you seen and experienced there?
So after entering the camp, so after I arrived in the States, China, I drove the car to the border. Well, I see the border, the wall there, right? It's actually very short. It's just a few meters high.
Wow.
Yeah, and I see there's soldiers carrying the gun. Yeah, he just I can still see the flying fire, the bomb. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just a few. Because I was just 100 meters away from the border wall. I can still see what is happening.
You weren't scared? I mean, you were kind of like nearly inside the war.
Well, actually, that area was quite peaceful. But also, to my big surprise, and I thought, I saw 8 kids. Probably they are they playing just beside the road, and I felt very peaceful actually. But the soldier, he just pointed me with a gun, because I cannot go any further. So I must turn back.
You could not really go inside the refugee camp then?
No. So I first went to the border, the wall, and then 1 miles away or 2 miles away from the border, there were a lot of refugee camps.
How did that look like, and what was life like for the people there?
Well, again, to my big surprise, I thought, I imagined that people might be really, miserable, might be really sad. But actually, after the minute I entered the camp, a group of kids, children, just swarmed me, and with big smiles on their face. I thought that really shocking. I never thought that big smiles. They are really. It looks like really happy. It looks like they are really, really eager to hug the people from outside. Yeah, and I
very welcoming.
Yeah, and I bought the souvenirs from from Beijing. I departed from the Beijing. So I bought souvenirs, with Chinese the tools, K-Swiss, and I just gave the souvenirs to them. Yeah, that was really the picture, was always lingering in my mind after so many years. I still, especially when I left the camp, so the car is driving away.
How long did you stay?
Couple of days.
So you lived with them inside the camp?
Yeah, couple of days there. Well, there are actually 2 types of camps. One is very, very humble. People saying just with the plastic.
Like a tent?
Like a tent. Yeah, exactly, like a tent. So some people sleep on the floor. And the other one is very a bit decent, like a kind of like the UNHCR, was financed, supported by UNHCR or some international organizations. So there are 2 types of camps. So I lived actually in the very, very humble one. So I interviewed the people. I saw a lot of elder people, many children, and some women. Especially I interviewed 2 widows. Like they lived in a very, very small tent with 7 kids. Two women. They actually come from one family, and their husbands were both passed away, were both died during the war. So they lived in Turkey, lived in the tent with 7 kids. So I talked with them. The reason why I wanted to interview them was that at that time, Assad, the Syrian president, Syrian regime, like Assad government, is in upper hand in the war. So probably it seems hopefully it seems possible that the reconstruction of Syria is a hot topic at that moment. People are begin to talk about when people begin to talk about the war is going to end, to reach the end. So probably there will be reconstruction. So I was pretty curious about what's the plan for this 4 million refugees. Only in Turkey there are 4 million.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, in Germany
refugees.
we also had some.
Yeah, a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really curious, what is their plan looks like? Will they go further to Europe, or will they stay in Turkey, or will they go back? Yeah, what their destiny will be look like, with these choices.
Have you ever had a challenge of, because of the culture that you come from when you were on your travels? Or it was it never mattered whether you were originally Chinese or not?
You mean if I have the cultural shock, or?
No, I mean were you discriminated, or were there any challenges?
No,
no, it didn't matter, right?
Yeah, especially before COVID, no. Yeah, because I was really obsessed with like I said, the broken group of people. I was really obsessed with the topics, that is relevant to war, poverty, so yeah, and the disease. So they are all, I put the word broken.
Yeah.
So actually, they are really friendly. And the conversation really goes smoothly with
and they don't judge and so.
No, I mean on my side, no, I'm not really. I would never been judged by or discriminated. Never.
That's
never
amazing.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with when you have to report about all these stories, broken stories, challenging stories, however we want to call them? You probably, I saw it in your eyes now. You probably have your own emotions coming up, and how do you deal with that? How can you stay rational or report like this while you are also experiencing your own personal challenges?
Well, for example, the refugee stories, because clearly it's also my own emotion that I really want to do this story because I care about this group of people. But actually, when I were there, because with your question, you're trying to find being a journalist, your part of your job is to find the answer, right? To a certain question, to a certain question in your mind. So I took that question with me. Though my duty is to find the answer. So you should try to stay rational as possible as you can. So the way to be rational, the way to be objective, right? Yeah, is to I think is to get to reach out as many people as you can and hear the voice as much as you can. For example,
we actually learned this at university when we write our master thesis and bachelor thesis, right?
Yeah, try to get all the evidence or that is cons and the pros, right? So for example, I take the refugee story as example. I interview the refugees, I should hear their voice, but also I need to hear how the locals, the Turkish, how they see this problem, and I also need to ask the opinions of the local NGOs, international organizations, the third parties. Yeah, so I interview a lot of people, not only refugees, but also other, many other parties. Yeah, so I think this is a way to make you make you be as possible as as you can.
And how did you manage? On the one side, this is a very political topic. How do you manage politics or keeping your own safety and these things?
I I didn't really touch the very like sensitive political things. That's probably from the beginning. I'm not really into something that is really, really, relevant to politics. But I care about people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes, it's all about me. It all has something to do with politics. For example, like the Syrian war, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I try to see the things from the people's perspective.
And who financed this? Were you like a freelancer and it was your decision, hey, I want to go to Africa, I want to go to the Middle East, to refugee camps, etc.? Or did you have like an employer who gave you like a monthly salary, or you were paid by story, by commission or something?
I worked for a media before. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, I need financial support. Yeah. So I worked for a media. It's a relatively independent media in China. Yeah. So I worked for them, but for refugees, for even for my trip to Africa, those are the topics that I chose by myself. Yeah. So like on my way back from Africa, I decided to go to the Syrian refugee camps.
So what made you switch your career from being a pure journalist for this independent media here in China into, nowadays you work for one of the, not just China's and Asia's top business schools, but even worldwide. I mean, the Global Executive MBA is ranked number 2, like 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Like in the whole world.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
It's impressive. So what made you switch? Because this is like very different as a lifestyle now, I assume.
Well, I don't think it's very different.
Okay.
Because previously I interviewed politicians, I interviewed, businessmen. They are all elites. Actually, like I interviewed people, political and business elites before, and also interviewed, people that are really humble, from different backgrounds, broken people.
Very diverse.
Yeah, very diverse. So previously, it's all about being a journalist. For me, it's all about finding the answer, seeking for the answers to a certain questions. And now it's also, about seeking for answers. It's also about finding the answer to some questions. So before you interviewed, you talked with the politicians about, where, about the solutions for some worldwide questions, how to solve the Syrian refugee questions. Yeah. And now you talk about how to open company, how to start a business, how to use the business to actually make a difference. Yeah. So I think it's narrowed down to become more specific.
Yeah. I mean, having worked and interviewed people from so many different continents, from poorer levels, from poverty up to politicians, global executives, what is your opinion? Like, now I'm seeking for an answer. Like, what do global leaders nowadays need? Because our world has a lot of challenges. Some people are afraid of a potential third world war. I mean, economies are like going into crisis, inflation, the environment, etc., etc. What do global leaders need from everything that you have learned?
I think
or what should they learn, for example?
I think figuring out why you start, why you depart is much more important than flying, faster or moving fast. You know what I mean?
I love this metaphor with the plane.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
please elaborate a little bit.
It's like I think we are crazy about results. Like we are
fast results.
Yeah, we are all go-getters. I can see go-getters everywhere. Whether it's in the political arenas, you should finish this KPI, you should finish this project this year, how many projects, you should make those many people, being employed. You should start this, offices, so many companies in so many countries, for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we are running so fast, and sometimes we just lost the patience and lost the time to energy to really sit down and really figure out the direction. Yeah. So because like I sometimes talk with the business leaders now, right? I think some of them do not really have the strategies for the company actually.
Oh,
yeah.
So you think
it's
they're
money
lost? Money driven.
Yeah, but actually, I think we should find out the purpose. As you mentioned, right? The purpose, and should figure out the direction, figure out the point. If think about the things that you are going to do, and think about after you're doing it, anyway will the world be different? If the world anyway be different a little bit, then just do it.
I mean, even Generation Z, or like the younger generations now, they're more purpose-driven. They're even okay to say no to a huge salary if there is a specific purpose inside that company. That's why we also always recommend when we start a startup, always start with a mission, vision, purpose, and your employees have to know about it. Hire your employees according to that, and the company culture and the values. So talking about purpose, do you know your purpose in life? Because a lot of people are seeking for it, right? I mean, it's a very big question.
That's something really serious. My purpose, well, I've been thinking this for a long time, 30 years. I actually began to seriously thinking about this from last year. So last year I was involved in writing a biography for a blind man. His name is Zhang Hung, and he is the first blind man in Asia to reach the Everest.
The Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. And in China, most of the times, disabled, like blind people, their job is, as you said, it's very common, like to do massage, right?
Well, it's the stereotype. That's probably the only thing that you're good at.
So tell me a little bit more about that story of that man. I mean, like, where did he get the finances from? How did he train for that? How did he make that happen? I mean, the biography that you wrote even became a movie now. There's even English subtitles to that.
Yeah, released last October,
Congratulations on that.
Well, I had nothing. I had little thing to do with the movie, but the book
but still, you brought like his story like alive. Like, tell us more about him. How did he make this happen? How did it start and so on? I mean, it's crazy.
It's
amazing.
What he did is crazy. So Zhang Hong was born in in Chongqing, in southern China.
Spicy food.
He really likes spicy food. So he lost his eyesight at the age of 20.
And how did he lose it? Do we know why? Just happened.
Yeah, it just happened.
Okay.
Well, his father, his late father, and his uncle were both blind.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So like a family disease, genetics or so maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we didn't really figure out that.
Yeah.
But so when he was little when he was pretty young, he used to took his father and his uncle to he was the guide. He used to be the guide. He used to be the light of the family. He always took his father and his uncle to go to the town, which is miles away from the house they lived. So and he was very ambitious. He thought, I must get over the mountain. You know, when I was a kid, I want to see the mountain, and he was like, I want to get out of the mountain.
Oh, I see a lot of connections. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was like, I must go out of the mountain, and he was very ambitious. He thought, I must be someone that is completely different from my father and uncle.
And you even mentioned that he actually tried to even commit suicide, right? Because you said like he didn't even have a purpose.
After he lost the sight, he was ambitious, and after he lost his sight, he was like, he tried to commit suicide several times. I just used the rope too. That was a period of very hard time for him. And then he began to try different ways, really try different walks of life to try to find the purpose in life.
Do you know what was the click or like the realization that he had, or what had changed his mindset that he stopped like killing himself and basically
he's very lucky. He his wife, before he lost his sight, he got a girlfriend. Of course now it's his wife, Xiaqiong. So Xiaqiong was always there, give the warmth, give the love, give caring. She's always there, and she encouraged him a lot. And finally, he found a job doing massage. So he gradually accepted, the reality that he lost the sight. But with Xiaqiong's support, so he decided to. For a while, he decided to, just do the massage. They finally, find a way of living. So they are not really poor. Life is okay. It's peaceful. They got married and they got a kid. So everything looks nice. But there's always something.
And you said he was ambitious.
Yeah, he was ambitious before losing sight, and something, there's always something. He himself even couldn't really describe what it is. But there's always something that is undone, that is uncompleted.
Oh, undone, uncompleted. Okay.
Yeah, it's always uncompleted. So he really wanted to find. So he moved from Chongqing to Shanghai.
Oh.
Yeah, he lived in Shanghai for almost 10 years.
Okay.
And he tried different jobs. He's selling things, beside the subway station. He became a salesman in the company.
Wow.
Yeah, he just on the street, he just talked with the people.
That's a great growth mindset. Continuous learning.
Yeah, but he didn't make it. He didn't make it, and he failed at the end of the day. And then he had no choice but to go back hometown. So after 10 years in Shanghai, he went back to Chongqing. Okay. But he still think, something undone.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he moved to Tibet.
Oh.
And there, he met someone who climbed the mountain. He's really famous for climbing the mountain. And and he began to climb the mountain.
But so how did he train for that?
He literally started from nothing, right? He's not professional, so the only way is pretty clumsy. The way he trained himself. He just carried very, very heavy things, climbed the stairs, the staircases. Just ups and downs every day.
Wow.
Yeah, that's basically the only way.
Wow, we should definitely.
And he runs a lot. Yeah,
we should definitely all watch that movie. What's the name of the movie?
The Invisible Summit.
Okay, The Invisible Summit. And in Chinese?
看不见的顶峰.
Okay. Well, now you're working on another very exciting project. I mean, next to your full-time job, you're actually writing your own book now, right? We spoke a little bit also about happiness, and it's going to be launched in a couple of months. So let's talk about your book.
Oh wow, that's actually I didn't really. I mean, it's just that simple, you know. It's just something really.
Don't say just. I'm pretty sure
really,
it's going to
really
be awesome.
Yeah. So it's all about my it's all about my childhood. It's all about the people that I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the place where where I feel really nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the starting point from where I began to go to the world.
We see a very humble Chinese lady next to us, typically for the culture, right? I mean, you've already told me that you've gotten some really good feedback. People really want to publish it or pushing you to
I'm
get
working
it done
on it, trying
because
to.
they think it's really good, right? So tell us a bit more about it. What can we expect? What else? Or maybe you can't talk about it yet.
I can just. It's not really something. It's about. It's actually about. So I mentioned the boundary. I mentioned the horizon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually. So my elder brother always wants to go to sea. Like he was the one that. He was the guide for me.
Mm.
You know, back when I was very, very young. So he gave me the sense of the bigger world.
Bigger dreams, maybe?
Yeah, big dreams. And he's always the one that encouraged me to go further and further and further, no matter, you know,
that's amazing.
How many denies, how many no's I got from other people. But he somehow end up with a he cannot get out of the place for a certain reason, and my book is about that reason.
Oh wow.
So we have different completely different tracks of life, like completely different. We start from the same place. So my book is about that, and my brother is actually have a lot of things to do with the people, who I am, and the people living far away that I visited before, that I did stories on.
Wow.
So although he cannot get out of that small place, but he actually gave me the encouragement, gave me the chance to go further and further and further. And even till today, that no matter how many no's, you know, I got from other people, he's always the one that is on my back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm about to cry now. This is amazing.
But for a certain reason, he cannot. He just cannot. So this book is for him. If I got the chance to publish it, then it's him for my elder brother.
That sounds good. Yeah. So when are you going to publish it?
I don't know. I'm working on it. I mean, this is something really like because this is what shaped me. So I think this is something. No matter, you know, whether it will be published or not, I will finish it. It's really the inner voice in my heart.
Please let me know when it's done. Before I start crying here, let me be a little bit more rational again, okay?
Yeah.
And thank you so much for sharing this. I mean, as a journalist, you also have to do a lot of storytelling, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about the power of storytelling? Why do people, no matter what job you do, need to do it? How can they do it or so?
You mean no matter how?
Yeah, no matter of who you are, like the power of storytelling. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I talked with so many people from really different corners of the world, and I find there's a crack in everybody's body. The crack is where the stories can create it. if you want to get connected with people quickly, find the crack, find their story. Yeah.
And I think very often it's related to like family, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know, where are usually the stories?
You mean the story is
Maybe
something that shape you. For example, like the story I'm working on is really like without my elder brother, without the experience of growing up with him, I probably wouldn't be someone, the Esther that you see today.
Yeah.
So find something that make the person who they are today. It can be family. It can be a disaster. I mean, it can be something happened that is unforgettable in their life. It can be a certain sentence, what always gave them the courage to go further. Whatever it is, I always try to find a certain point to get connected with people and start the conversation and then from that conversation I create their story.
We are in the middle of a thunderstorm and we're slowly wrapping it up now.
Yeah.
So what are some of the most important skills that you have developed throughout your career, which you think that everybody should actually acquire those skills? Because we're all about lifelong learning, right?
Yeah. So speaking of lifelong, I'm not really sure it's called skills, but I think it's a quality. It's a trait. You should be curious. Be curious.
Oh, you mentioned that in the beginning.
Yeah. Try to do the things in your lifetime and figure out the things. I mean, try to find the question that really bother you and use that as a starting point and stay hungry and stay curious and try to find the answer. On your way to find the answer, you really will encounter so many interesting people, so many interesting books, so many interesting journeys. Yeah, so that's just something I never want to lose, never want to drop.
I love it. I mean, we as coaches, we also often ask questions, because at the end, you would know best what your answer is.
Yeah.
Nobody would know it better, not your parents, not your grandparents, nobody except for you.
Exactly.
So you just have to dig a little bit deep, right?
Yeah, I feel like you will be an interesting people. You will be an interesting person if you really have something in your mind, if you really follow your way to find it out. Yeah, because I really encounter so many people that they feel bored about their life. They're so, I mean, I'm not put boring there, but they just just lingering around every day, without a direction. Yeah, I just want to be question centered and try to find the answer.
I love it. So what made you decide to drop your busy schedule and have this interview with me?
I love this question. Yeah, I really want to tell you why. Cause from you I thought what it really looked like, when you really love life. I see from your eyes, your passion, your enthusiasm. Yeah, I feel like you are exactly the person who really lived the full life and who really loved life, and this the kind of life I'm pursuing, and I think everybody should pursue. If you want to live a full life, then you'll be a model.
Wow, thank you so much.
I saw your speech on the stage. Yeah, so this was our second time, right?
That was the first time we met, so it was like the female leadership forum.
Yeah.
And basically, after my speech, we started to talk. That was really good.
Yeah. I hadn't really, watched such such a passionate person on the stage for such a long time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I was glad that your business school invited me. It was a really big variety of speakers. Wow, it was just really amazing, an amazing event.
It's so encouraging and inspiring.
Yeah, thank you so much for that feedback. Now, Esther, what are your last words to our listeners here?
If you got a story and if you want to find someone who can patiently hear your story out, and if you have a startup idea that can that aim to make a difference for the world, and if you love singing and you want to hear people sing old songs, come to me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I love singing. I love reading the stories, hearing people's stories patiently, hear them out. And I also aim at having a startup, have some innovative ideas that aims to make a difference. Yeah, and I also love cross cultures. So if you grow up in another cultural background, I really would like to have the conversation, and to promote the understanding. Yeah.
Reach out to Esther.
Yeah, WeChat. Please do put my WeChat code there.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
It's Wednesday night. It's super late. We're still in the library of this
Seems like it's going to
business
rain.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah, thunderstorm. Luckily, it's not raining, so we might still be able to get a taxi home or take the metro. So thanks again for your time.
Thank you.
And guys, if you love today's session with Esther, please tell your friends, send it to your colleagues, family. Sharing is caring. Subscribe to our YouTube or Spotify channel, and have a good day. See you next time, next week.
See you.